Okay, is this working? Oh my gosh. This laptop is crusty. Um, Holy cow. Hi everyone. I'm in the garden and I have a very, very, very tiny Wi-Fi window. Um, so I don't know if the stream is even gonna make it, but I hope it does because as you can see behind me, some of the wildflowers coming in very nicely. I want to talk about the garden. I have some other things that I want to talk about, but I just posted a video for the first time since I don't even fucking know. Like I said, my iMovie was crusty as hell, but it felt good. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go live. So it's just posted. Go let me know what you think. Um, on some of my thoughts as of late. We can go over those now again too if you want. I don't know. But I also wanted to try out this whole like power chat thing. Um, I have in the description of this video. It's like powerchat.live Mr. Throne or something. If someone could just like test it to see if it works. I don't even really know how to use it. But I figured even if it doesn't make it through on this live, but it gets through on the replay, I could just do, continual live streams to catch up on them. If any of you have questions, ask Gene. Um, I don't know if anyone's even still out there because Lord knows I probably wouldn't be. But um, yeah, so Power Chat Live if you have any questions and what to do, what to do. So, um, yeah, I'm in my garden right now. It's been going well. We had crazy storm here 2 nights ago where it downpoured like cats and dogs. All of the kettles around here are all full again. There's a river that only usually runs through spring through the part of the garden over there, which is swimming on down, and it's pretty cool. It's definitely a vibe. I would take the camera down there, but it doesn't really translate on video. You have to be there. It's like one of those things. It's kind of like trying to take pictures of like a full moon. It just doesn't work. So the river down to the garden is really freaking cool. There's also like two, what I assume are like muskrat dams or something that have been sort of built up along this little river, which is really cool. Uh, how they make those types of things, like the dams and like just like birds' nests, like in the garden. I was working on a project, and then all of a sudden, this robin decided to make a nest right above me, so I had to just like postpone it until, she had her babies and the babies left, which they have, and now I like took down the nest and just like the intricacy and the complexity and the simplicity of the whole thing is just like we talk about intelligence, and IQ and intelligence with a capital I, but I don't know. So dams, beaver dams, and nests are cool. They're always going to be fucking cool. But yeah, we had so much of a downpour that a lot of the more fragile wildflower kind of got disturbed quite a bit by just like the sheer weight of it, and it's still kind of compounded down. Um, but it's coming slowly but surely. I'm happy with it. There's definitely room for improvement this fall, which I'm excited about. Who doesn't love a good editing process? Um, but the temperature here has been crazy. Like right now, it's like a comfortable 70, which is surprising because all this week it was like 93, 94, 90. And then yesterday was like upper 80s, but there was this wind that was like 30, 35. It was insane. The weather here is very bipolar. It like really threw me off, especially this last 90s tip. It's going to tip into the 90s again, I think on Sunday or Monday. Um, it happens like so sporadically that my body can't like catch up, and I'm just like, whoa, And then with really intense wind on top of it, it's just a lot to deal with. But the summer's been going well. I can't believe it's already June. I just like what the hell? It's Cancer season next week Tuesday. Is that the solstice? The summer solstice, midsummer. Happy midsummer to everybody. Oh my gosh. We can talk about that. But yeah, that means Cancer season will start, which means July will start shortly after that, which is our favorite White History Month. July just feels white. You know what I mean? I've been mentioning that to like people at the barn, and they're just like they're so clueless. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know like July was White History Month," and they're like, and every time I brought it up, they call it like White Power Month or something, and I'm like, "Why? shitlibs, I tell you, are so fucking crazy. Um, but I guess it would take one type of crazy to recognize another, you know. So I do obviously bear some of the responsibility. Uh, but yes, midsummer is next week, which is crazy that we're at the summer solstice here in the northern hemisphere. Uh, the days are obviously very long, and that's why again with this 90 upper, it's just insane because like this intense heat that is just like right where it's like the most intense time of the year. It's nuts. Usually we'll dip like this sometimes in like late July, to like mid August. But having it, we had it already in May, and now we're having it several times in June. It's kind of crazy. I thought it was all like the fire in the chart. We have like Mars and Jupiter and Aries. We just had that big full moon, which was crazy. Actually, like rewind the full moon prior to that, back in May, the Scorpio full moon lunar eclipse. That like I'm still like shook about that. And then this last one came, and I'm just like, holy hell. Um, and now we have this new moon in Cancer coming up. Like I said, the solstice is almost here. And it's just crazy how time flies. We have, so Pluto's retrograde right now, and we're in the Pluto return of the United States, which is, again, all, if you haven't just let go yet, now's the time to probably just focus on what makes you happy. Like I love gardening, I love biking, I went on a fantastic camping trip to those nude campgrounds out west in western Wisconsin, a couple weekends so far, and it's just been really really fun. So my life is good. My life is great. We have our struggles, of course, but um, my life is my life is fine. But as far as okay, going back to the Pluto return of the United States, because Pluto's retrograde right now, I think gets exact again, um, either later this summer or in October, one of the two. With it being midterms in the fall, it's just going to be nuts. But we have so the Pluto return of the United States, which is crazy, and then Pluto will dip into Aquarius next year and then retrograde back and then fully come back into Aquarius, which is going to be nuts. I'm wondering, like, is Trump really going to run, and would Trump win in 2024? Um, I don't know how I feel about all of that stuff yet. I don't know if I would vote in a federal election anymore, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, so we have the Pluto move into Aquarius, which is going to be crazy. But again, that's not till like spring of next year, and then we have this Mars Uranus North Node conjunction in Taurus, and I think that's like late July, which is going to be nuts. Mars Uranus is like every 2 years, so that's like whatever. It's still crazy because it's like Aries energy plus just like the lightning struck tower wild card element of Uranus or Uranos, as some people say. Um, that's gonna be nuts because the North Node is right there, which that is like rare to have all three of those there: Mars, Uranus, and Rahu. Um, so that's gonna be very interesting, very very interesting. What other big transits are coming up? We have that one, that one. I'm so ready for this Neptune to get out of so I'm a Virgo, obviously, and this mutable energy has just been like nuts with that Neptune. Just crazy, so crazy. Saturn will move into Pisces, and I think they'll have a conjunction either in the late degrees of Pisces or the early degrees of Aries at some point. That'll be wild, but that's a ways off. Um, the moon right now is in Aquarius, which is probably why I feel like even doing this live stream. But again, the main point was just to be like, hey, I made a video. I wonder if it's even available because my channel has been dusty and neglected. So I don't even know if I just got like swooped up in one of those like algorithm things. But um, hello, I'm here. I'm alive. I'm well. Um, life is good. Um, Pride Month. We had Pride Month was like or Pride Fest because of course there's a big like crazy festival. In Milwaukee was like the first weekend of June. I did not go. I have gone before, like 4 or 5 years ago now. I don't know if I would go again because that would just feel weird. Because of there was a point where gay culture was like separate and exclusive and like cool. Like gay culture is like in the shadows. It takes place in the shadows, like the really good stuff, like the cruising, the cruising in the woods. Like that's the stuff. Like what they're perpetuating right now with like all these commercials with like gay families and like, all the trans stuff. It's just like that's not what gay culture even is. That's like a very distorted worldview. I obviously reject the whole rainbow flag agenda and all of that. But there are elements of gay culture that were like cool and still are cool. They're just like very underground. I'm very grateful to know of some of them. It's not even like sexual. It's just like community, like old school hippie type. The old school like gypsy hippie type. It's wild. I'm like, so nice meeting you. But of course, everyone's like, they're hippie, so they're like liberal. But I don't think they buy into like they're very cognizant on like the race stuff, which is interesting. Um, but yeah, the pride stuff. I mean, the trans stuff. I mean, that's like crazy because that like used to be such a small, like if that was even real. I don't think you can be born separate from. There's like no split there. Like you can explore different elements of your life without having to cut your balls off. And the post op for that stuff is like so brutal. It sounds awful. Like you never get sensation really down there, and when you have to go like take a piss, it's just like a slow 30-minute drip. It's not like a stream, no matter how hard and you always kind of smell like pee, and it's just to do all of that to yourself, and to have all of that self harm, all of that like self infliction directed and made manifest physically is crazy. It's that's unnatural, of course. Uh, I just hope people realize that there was at a time like gays that weren't fucking like nuts, and trans and all of that. Well, the trans thing, I don't know. That's like such a minority of a minority that I don't know if I've ever even. There's this one tranny in Australia. If you're listening on the underscore Blake Butler on Instagram, um, a boy to girl, and just like so feminine, so fish, unclockable. Like, you would have no idea. At least on Instagram, in real life, who knows? But uh, I don't know. If you are like a woman, like a real woman, not a tranny, like I don't know. Would you feel like offended? Like there's like again, gay culture, like drag stuff that used to be like in the shadows in these like dingy clubs, which is like fine and where that stuff belongs. But then they're like out and about in real life. It's wild where we've come to. Um, but this Blake Butler is just like so feminine, you would have no idea, And if you were like a real woman, honey, are you like offended at all, like at this stuff, where they're like they have these like sort of superficial, idealistic. I don't know if it's I would say bad, but it's just like the image that they like decide to take on. At least like the classic like lipstick trannies. I don't know. All of it's like how we got here is so wild. But the post op for tranny stuff sounds awful. I don't know if I would ever push anyone in that direction ever. Not to mention like the psychological ramifications of doing that to yourself. It's just like, sheesh. Um, but someone was saying that they're coming out with a pill to change your eye color or something. Um, it was like I was talking to someone who was like, oh, they don't make colored contacts for people with astigmatism in the United States anymore for whatever reason. The U.S. FDA is so corrupt, obviously, and just like so retrograde and so in the pockets of, I guess, their own pockets. Uh, it's just what's actually available out there, and what's actually available in your own backyard is crazy. But because there's no, that's like a whole different conversation. But this eye color thing, it's like, okay, so she was gonna get LASIK, but then the woman was like, oh, just wait a couple months because it's still going through the approval process. But like you can take a pill that will change your eye color, allegedly. Um, and I don't know. Like I've worn colored contacts once in my life. It was like kind of interesting, but I have like the same. Not to get all sentimental and gay, but oh, like my grandmother and I have the same eye color, and it just always felt weird to wear colored contacts And I don't know. And the idea that someone could take a pill and like copy that color artificially kind of makes me sick. They say not to get trapped in, this world and the Maya and the illusion, all of that. But like, what's wrong with being attached to like it's like a family thing, really. Like that's all like heredity. It's all blood, you know, and all of that stuff is so distorted nowadays. But the idea that you could change your eye color with a pill, I don't know. It made me feel like kind of sick to my stomach. And of course, that's like so interesting because this on Grindr the other day, and someone was like, in their preferences was just like straight up, and you don't really see this straight up because everyone's like woke and Ukraine and all of that. But someone in their preferences bio was like, I prefer blonde hair, blue eyed people, and I was just like, wow, you don't ever hear that. Um, Spoken out loud because of the media and the advertising and all of that. But I was like, yeah, I like that type of phenotype as well. But the idea that you could just like artificially create that nowadays, again with like the transhumanism and like, the whole AI thing. I'm such a I'm just a country bumpkin, but the whole AI thing has always gone like way over my head. It's like the crypto stuff where I'm just like, yeah, it sounds like a trap. I don't think we should go in that direction, so I'm just not going to put like my consciousness there, much less my money. um but again, maybe I'm just like provincial and not realizing the opportunity. I don't know. But I'm more of like a physical, like I love having like a cash savings, under the bed type guy. Like I love that more than the idea of just like I don't mind having like a card, but everything being electronic seems a little naive, especially given the whole lockdown situation of this decade. Um, that they could lock you out of your account seems obvious, but uh, I don't. I realize not everyone thinks that way. Where was I even going with this? Again, the eye color, the transhumanism, the AI. Yeah, the AI thing goes way over my head. That's like apparently like our greatest threat, which I can kind of believe just because how everything's funneled through the smart devices and all of that is all um, like AI. That's who are ultimately that's the ultimate they, I guess, the cabal, all of it. But I can't like wrap my head around it. The only thing I can wrap my head around is like a bigger Earth, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Talk about like the Sagittarius full moon of a couple. Was that last weekend? Uh, that was insane because it was a super moon, so it was like super big and it was beautiful. But Sagittarius, like the open mind, like just like the expansion and the expansiveness of Sagittarius is wild. And I remember like years back when I first was like awakened to the idea of the possibility of being on a bigger Earth, like a bigger realm that the map hadn't all been filled in yet, like changed. Well, that was like a pivotal moment in my life. Um, but yes, okay. I can keep rambling here. I've been going on for 18 minutes. What? Um, just like I said, I just came on here because I posted a video and I want to see if this whole Power Chat Live thing works. Um, because I don't think I set it up right. I'm so fucking retarded with this stuff. You have no idea. Oh my god, the live chat. Oh my god, someone's watching. KK Westbury. Hey, hello, how are you? Love you so much. What? I was watching the first video you posted, missed the first 13 minutes, didn't know you were. If they change eye color, maybe they'll see more clearly, or maybe they'll go blind. I don't know. I have such terrible vision. Um, and that's one thing that's on my to-do list that keeps getting pushed back. And I really just need to go do it is just get like a proper eye exam, like see like get like a proper optometry procedure or whatever it is. Because I think my prescription is not right. I think my eyes have changed, especially with like the screens and all of that. And not to mention being like blind. I think like I need to like up my prescription um big time. But like where would I be without optometry? Like I would be sometimes I do fantasize about like just like being blind, like walking around without like the vision part. uh I feel like I don't know, that would be nuts. That would be nuts because like I said, I am without my contacts or my glasses, I can't see shit. um so could they cure blindness? I mean, LASIK, I was talking to someone, I was at a wedding a couple weekends ago, and my old childhood friend had gotten LASIK, and she said it was only like $4,500 or something. Um, and there was like a rebate thing as well. But she says the idea of like waking up and not having to like put in your contacts or reach for your glasses and just being able to like stay out all night at like someone's house and not have to be like, oh, if I sleep in my contacts, like this is gonna like fuck me over. Um, it sounds very convenient. So I've explored getting like LASIK, but I would not obviously take a pill to change my eye color. That can't seem safe, and also like, ugh, I feel like an alien on this on this planet all the time. But that like little tidbit, and it was in relation to the whole like trans thing, you know, and what they can do. Like I said, that underscore Blake Butler account on Instagram, what they can do with plastic surgery now, and just like how everything is like everything is like image online. You can really be tricked and manipulated and hoodwinked. Um, that's why I have no doubt that whole like deep fake thing is like a very strong person possibility. Uh, but how well do you know yourself? You know, how well do you know other people? I don't know. Let me just double check and see if there's anything else on my list, and then I'm gonna keep moving because we're about to lose. As you can see, it's like so bright right there. We're about to lose our camera. Um, do we want to save this stuff for a different video? Um, yeah, I don't really want to talk about that right now. Um, no, 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 no. But one thing that I talked about in the video that I posted, uh, and that is like been plaguing me recently. We'll talk about this, and then I gotta go. Is like everyone I seem to meet is a shitlip. You know, we're just having like normal conversation, and then they'll throw in like either how well, I might have to move if this whole Supreme Court decision goes a certain way, and that they would move to Canada, like into like Sweden and all these places. I'm like, I hear people that are trying to like escape Canada because of the tyranny, and you feel that because of this whole Roe v. Wade, my thoughts on that. I haven't heard anyone else talk about this, so maybe it's just me and my crazy mind. But I always thought like Roe v. Wade was considered like bad law. It's like a privacy thing, right? Like medical privacy. And as we've seen over the past couple of years, there's like no such thing as medical privacy anymore. So I think they would have to sort of rewrite that anyhow. Um, but just like the idea of that you would have privacy at all in the age that we're living in. I think it's just sort of common knowledge that like the privacy element is it's just not there, like, you don't have privacy whatsoever, so the idea that you could kill your child based on, like, privacy seems a little bit weird because we don't have that, and obviously, you know, I never wanna, like, tell someone what to do, but I would, like, implore to, like, maybe not kill your child, because from what I've always seen is, like, a lot of the people that I've appreciated, in history especially have come from really crazy, backgrounds, especially, like Pavo orphans, like Coco Chanel. Like if their mother was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna abort this. Like these people can like change the world. They can change your world. But to just like snuff out that chance, that possibility is so. I guess like the word is satanic. But I don't know. So the whole Roe v. Wade thing. There's a girl at the barn who's like just graduated from high school, and she and her boyfriend like broke up over it because she was posting all this like like pro-abortion Roe v. Wade stuff, and he was like, "Girlfriend, you need to stop doing that. Like it's a little much, and also." Like maybe you shouldn't kill your child, and she broke up with him, and I'm like, that's so dumb. So yeah, I just again the Roe v. Wade thing. I thought it was always had to do with privacy, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Um, Immigration, the whole border thing, like the amount of people, like, is just like it's so over. But again, I am white pilled. I definitely believe in like my kind of people, and we tend to be a little bit smarter than most, especially when it comes to like self organization and methodology. We seem to be able to create a lot of cool things and get ourselves out of uh, troubles and perils a lot more than other races can, or at least it seems that way. Um, but we have like so many people coming into this country. It just doesn't seem like that's going to end very well. Just doesn't seem like. But this is why we wanted a wall, and we had the opportunity. The chance was there. We tripped at the finish line, and it just never got done. And Immigration is forever. So, um, we either have to stay here and like stake out an area, or we need to do what the Targaryens did and make sail for some other land and create a home there. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But those numbers are crazy that come out of the border. And then there was the whole. I think they were talking about on the. I love the lunchtime show that Ramsey does because it's like the perfect thing to watch or rather listen to at the gym because it's like funny. I get like all of the new stuff, and it's just like the perfect amount of time. So I think it was on that show, but they were talking about that whole thing about like the border patrol agents on horses like rounding up the colored folk, and I'm just like I'm more than comfortable, more than okay with like officers on horseback going and like lassoing people who are trying to break into this country illegally. Like I'm not only do I not find that offensive, I encourage it, and I wish and I hope and pray that they bring that back. Not just for like the whole cowboy element, because I love horses so much, but I think it's rather effective, and it just is a prettier way to live, But our country, in that respect, seems like so fucked, and I don't really know if there's a way that all of that can end well. Though the whole Hispanic thing they seem to not be liking the current state of affairs. So who knows? The Hispanics are blessed because there's like a language. I don't use the word a language barrier and boundary in like a positive sense where they can like choose or not choose to intermingle with the what's going on in America because of the whole language difference. I think that's also why like Chinatowns have been able to like extend an experience of just like Chinese homology in like so many of the major U.S. cities and really around the world. Uh, where was I going with this? I don't even fucking know. But one day we'll have our own homeland. And until that day, happy day. Let me just check the chat one more time, and then I really gotta go. Kevin, oh Kevin, hello. I love you. I miss you. How are you? I love you so much. Long time, I know. We should do a video soon or something. I'm really excited for this whole HBO House of the Dragon. Um, I'm trying to reach out to Sacha, who we love so much. I want to do like a recap show or like a reaction. I think there's like 10 episodes in the first season this fall. It starts late August. Um, because that's like the first thing that I've been excited for in TV for a long, long time. Um, so encourage Sasha to do it. I know she's busy, but I think it would be fun. Anyways, I really have to go. Like I said, I posted a video finally. I just hope it's there and available because, like I said, all of this is so crusty and rickety. I don't even know if you can even hear me right now. But it says that I'm using my microphone, so fingers crossed. Anyways, I'll try to do another live stream. Like I said, try to like send a power chat just to see if it like works, and then I'll read it on another live stream. I really want to go through my desktop because I have so many fucking cool images, architectural images that are just like breathtaking that I think you would all love and appreciate it. So I'll try to do that at some point. But anyways, I love you all so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.